guys, welcome back. So in today's video, I am doing a makeup tutorial on the look that you see right here. So I really like this look. It is something that is different for me because whenever I do my makeup, I typically find myself using more neutral tones or warm toned eyeshadows. This is something that is very cool tone and very more obviously on the purple side, and I don't wear a lot of purples as far as eyeshadow goes, but I really love this makeup look and I love the color that I used on the lid, so you'll see that in the video obviously, but I really love it and I really love this product. And in this video I did switch it up and use a few new products that I haven't yet used on my channel, so I am very pleased with how everything has turned out so far and how everything has worked. And if you notice a difference on either how the footage looks throughout the video, that's because I was experimenting with a new camera and testing it out to see how I like it, and then it ended up dying on me unfortunately, so I had to switch to my old camera that I normally use. So luckily that had 65% left on it, so I was able to use that once it died, but I was so frustrated when my other one died because I was thinking that this one was dead. So luckily I was lucky that my old one that I'm currently filming this intro with was still charged because normally it isn't. So yeah, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I would love to have you here. I hope you enjoy, and let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay, so then the first thing that I'm going to do, like always, is that I'm going to moisturize my lips. And today I'm going to be using the Caress lip butter in the scent Jasmine. So it looks like this here. And I actually forgot that I had this. I've had this for a little while. And I love this stuff. It smells so good. It almost smells like caramelly, and I love caramel, so I really like this. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this on my lips. And then I'm gonna go ahead and prime my skin, and I'm going to be using something different today versus the things that I've been using. And I'm using CoverFX Blurring Primer, and it's the same as any other blurring primer that I've been using, whether it be the Hourglass one that I've been using or the Smashbox one. But we'll just see how this one performs, and I'm going to put this one all over my face. And what's nice about CoverFX is that they are good for more sensitive skin. So if you have any rosacea or just sensitivities in general, this brand should be safe for that, just because they are free of parabens and fragrances. I believe they are gluten-free, and I know that I believe that they're vegan as well. I'm pretty positive they're vegan. So they are a really nice brand to try out if you have sensitive skin, if you've never tried them before. They have foundations, they have a mattifying one, they have a more luminous one, they have concealers. So I really like CoverFX in general as a brand. Now when I was at Sephora and somebody had sensitive skin, I would always run to CoverFX because I really like their brand in general, and their color range for their foundation is so nice. They have a lot of good options for pink undertones, red undertones, neutral, and more golden, and they have a couple olive shades as well. So they have a really nice variety in shades. So next I'm going to add an eye primer underneath of my eye, and this is from Becca, and it is, what's this called? Their Anti-Fatigue Under Eye Primer, and it looks like this here. Now let me bring up Sephora's website real quick, just because I want to kind of read off the claims of this under eye primer. I have used it before, I just haven't used it in a while. So on Sephora's website, it says that it is a cooling anti-fatigue eye balm and primer in one that preps the skin for smooth makeup application. So it's essentially just going to help with smoothing the under eyes when you use your concealer. It says that it smooths and blurs the look of fine lines while reducing puffiness, and it's infused with cucumber, matcha green tea, and caffeine. And it's a sheer velvety texture. So yeah, we'll go ahead and give this a try. Like I said, I have tried this before, but I tried it probably about a year ago, so I don't remember anything bad about it, but I just figured I found it in my collection again, so I would just give it a try again. So I'm just going to pat this with my ring finger under my eyes. And I kind of want to get this on there and not necessarily pat it in like an eye cream. So I'm gently just putting a little bit of pressure on my eye just to kind of build that up a little bit or get that product on there off of my finger. So I'm not tugging at my eye, but I'm just gently swiping it across the like the under eye. All right, so then next I'm going to take my NYX Color Correcting Concealer. It's just the green one that I've been using just to cover up any redness that I may have. I still am dealing with a little bit of acne scarring here and there. It's not anything bad. It's like going away. But this one right here is just being so stubborn, which if you haven't watched my videos before, I have mentioned in previous videos that my skin does scar really easily, like when I get a zit, and then I'll have like that post-red acne mark for a couple weeks to even about like sometimes a month until it like goes away. And this one has been there for about a month. So it is just being one of those ones that wants to be stubborn. So I'm just going to put a little bit on those areas of concern and blend it out with my finger. And then next I will go in with a concealer that's the color of my skin. And then I will just dot that on top of that green, just so when I go and put on my foundation, there isn't any chance of green shining through the foundation. And then I will pat that out with my finger as well. And just sitting here, like feeling this eye primer on my eye, it is definitely cooling. I can feel it. It almost has like, not like an icy hot feel to where it's like intense, but it kind of has that icy hot type of feel under my eye. Like it's kind of cooling, but yet it feels like kind of like warm-ish. I don't know. I kind of like it though. Since I put concealer on those areas of concern, when I go ahead and put on my foundation, I don't want it to move around the concealer and disturb it, therefore like making the redness shine through my foundation. So I'm going to take the smallest amount of like a translucent powder and just pat that on top of that concealer, just so it kind of sets it in place a little bit. But you want to go in with a small amount just because you don't want to go in with powders first and then liquids, because then it just won't lay right and then it'll just look like a little patchy and just weird. So that is why I say go in with the smallest amount just to set it. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my foundation, and I am going to be using my favorite Dior Skin Forever foundation. So it's just this one right here. And I am super sad because I saw that they have discontinued this foundation or are in the process of discontinuing it. So anywhere I look for it, I cannot find it anywhere. It's like sold out. It's sold out at Macy's, I believe, last time I checked. Sephora no longer carries it. Any of like the other stores like Nordstrom or even like a Saks Fifth, like they haven't been carrying it or they're out of stock. And I am super upset about it because that is my favorite foundation. And it has been my favorite foundation for the last couple of years. It is so good. I do see that they made like a newer version. To my assumption, it's a new version. It is more of like a mattifying foundation. And I do not know how I feel about that because like this one is a matte foundation. It's more of like a luminous matte. So it's not going to be like chalkboard matte. Which is what I really like about it, because I feel like it can, like, it's not going to make my skin look super dry like a matte foundation typically can. So I don't know. So I guess I'm just going to have to try out this new one and see how I like it, but it stinks because if it's like not something that I like, then I'm screwed, because I mean, I have other foundations that I like, but this one is just like my favorite to where I always go back to it. Like I have it in my winter shade and my summer shade. So it's super upsetting. Like I really hate when brands do that. Like they have like a product for a while and then they just discontinue it. It's happened to me a couple times. I remember that there was this lip gloss from MAC and I think they discontinued the whole line, but it was a color that I used to wear like every single day. It was like a really pretty, almost like a baby pink color, but it was such a nice gloss. And I remember they discontinued it and I was so upset. I didn't get the chance to get another one. And I was like scraping the inside of like the packaging just to get any drop of that lip gloss that I could to wear it. So I was really upset about that. And then the MAC chromographic pencils, which I use the NC15/NW20. And I mean, it's a really popular eyeliner, so I don't understand why they have discontinued it, but they have discontinued that as well. So that's really upsetting because that's my everyday eyeliner. Just because it's like a beigey color and it goes with anything, a lot of different looks. It's very natural. So That's really upsetting, but luckily Makeup Forever has one that is similar to it, so I guess I'll have to switch over to that one, but it's like, really? Come on. Okay, so then now that I have my foundation blended out, I'm going to go ahead and take that concealer that I covered up the green color corrector with, and I'm just going to dot a little bit on those areas. And there's a little spot right there, but I'm gonna dot a little bit on those areas just to be on the safe side that nothing is shining through. It'll just give a little bit more coverage. And that under eye primer, it is definitely still very cooling. So if you ever want to try it, keep that in mind, that it is a very cooling eye primer and that it actually stays cooling for a while. So, but I like it. I think it feels good. But next I'm going to go ahead and conceal my under eyes, and I'm going to be using the Cover FX Power Play Concealer, and this has just been my favorite concealer for the moment. And the color that I am in this is N Light 1. I know that I said that I would start giving the shade names that I am just for reference. So that is the color that I am, but I'm just going to put this underneath of my eye. Concealer makes such a difference. Now lately I have been like going in with less makeup than what I normally have been, which I mean, to some people like this may look like a lot, but oh, I got this all over my eyelashes. But like outside of like filming videos, like I haven't been really doing my makeup at all. Like what I've been doing is just doing like a little bit of concealer underneath of my eyes, and then I will use it to like spot conceal if I feel like I, need to cover up anything. And then I won't use any foundation. I'll just set that with a little bit of a translucent powder and kind of go over the areas where I feel like I get like a little bit shiny throughout the day. And then I will just take like a bronzer, like a really light, like natural one. And then I will, warm up the skin a little bit, maybe throw on a little bit of like a natural colored blush just to give my cheeks a little bit of like a, a flush of color. And then I'll, depending on if I feel like using my, my brow pencil, I'll take that, lightly run through my brows, and then, or I'll just take my, like my Benefit Gimme Brow, since it's like a tinted brow gel, and I'll lightly comb that through my brow hairs. And then that's about it. And then sometimes I'll throw on mascara, sometimes I won't. It just really depends on how I'm feeling. But that is like, has been my makeup routine, I'd say for the past few weeks actually. So it's like crazy to me on how much your makeup style can change in such a short amount of time, because I honestly went from wearing like false lashes every single day and like like full coverage foundation every single day, brows, more of like the dramatic style of makeup, and I tried to do different makeup styles every single day. So I went from that to still kind of doing that, but not, as much. And then I wouldn't wear false lashes. And then I transitioned into just wearing foundation, concealer, brows, and then throwing like a little bit of like a light brown into my crease and like mascara and like no false lashes. And then now here I am to where I'm like barely wearing anything other than when I film videos. So it's just like crazy to me, like how far or like how dramatically different your makeup can change within like a year or two. So I don't know, it's just interesting because I'm like still into makeup, but I just don't feel like taking the time to necessarily do it on the everyday like I used to. Like I just want to do something quick and easy and then be able to get out the door. So that is where I'm currently at right now, like with my makeup. And then next I'm going to go ahead and just set that concealer with some translucent powder, and I'm using the same powder that I normally use, and it is the Ben Nye Luxury Powder in the shade Cameo. And just dipping my damp Real Technique sponge in that, I'm just going to set anywhere where I put that concealer. And then next I'm going to take my MAC and Patrick Star collaboration powder and just set the rest of my face with it. And the reason why I use two separate translucent powders on my face is because the Ben Nye one is more mattifying. So I want to use that in the areas where I get the most oily, which is my T-zone, and that is where I put my concealer. This one, I don't feel like it says mattifying. If anything, it may be more of like a natural finish powder. I could be wrong though, but it just doesn't keep me as matte as like what the Ben Nye might, like, what the Ben Nye does. So that is why I take this and set the outer perimeters of my face with it, because I don't need anything mattifying in those areas. But I still want to set those areas because I don't want, you know, the makeup to, or the foundation to move or, you know, get patchy when I go ahead and, you know, bronze my skin or like apply blush or any of those things. So I still want to make sure that I set those areas. Okay, so then now it's time for me to fill in my brows. I'm not going to do that on camera just because it's not that fun to watch. I do have a brow tutorial video though of how I do fill in my brows, so I can list that down below. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this off camera and then I will be right back. Okay, so I am back and my brows are filled in. So next I'm going to go ahead and bronze up my skin just to add some color to it. And for that, I am going to be switching it up and using my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer right here. Now this stuff, they did extend the line, I believe, and they do have some more colors, but I am using the light bronzer shade. I do want a darker one though, because this bronzer smells so good. It smells like coconut and I love it. But this one is just going to be like a very natural shade of bronze. Normally I like to build this one up just because typically it doesn't give me the exact color that I like, because I like to really warm up my skin. So I will be building this one up a little bit, but it is a really nice bronzer as far as like, because you can get it from the drugstore. So it is really nice, affordable bronzer, I feel like. Now, as you can see, this color is very light on me, so it's not giving me a ton of color. So if you're on like more of like the fair side, this would be a really nice bronzer because it's not anything too like terracotta-ish colored, or it's not too like warm or orangey. So this would be a really nice option for, I feel like, for girls who are more on the fair side. Okay, so then now that I have some color added into my face, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of color to the center of my face, like on my lips and my nose. So just taking my little Sigma brush and the same butter bronzer, I'm going to take that, tap some of the excess off, and then I'm just going to put that underneath of my lower lip just to add a little bit of a shadow. Okay, so then now it's time to go ahead and get started on our eyes. So for my first shade, and sorry, mine is like almost empty. I need a new one, so sorry that it's so empty, but I'm going to be going in with Peach Smoothie by MakeupGeek. And this one is just a nice like peachy shade. It's not gonna add a lot of color, but for a transition shade, it's nice because it'll just help blend out colors in the process. And I have noticed that while I have been filming, I tend to use a lot of MakeupGeek eyeshadows because I love single shadows. MakeupGeek is my favorite like single shadow brand. And I have noticed that when I go to find the colors, like some of the colors that I use, a handful of them have been discontinued and I had no idea. So if I ever end up using a shadow that's discontinued, I apologize for that. And if there's any of the colors that I use in today's video that's discontinued, I apologize. I just have the shadows, so I use them, but I always put in the effort to, you know, look up dupes or like find something that could be like similar in color or tone that you could like replace it with if you wanted to get the color or if you wanted to recreate the look. So I'll always try to find something that I can replace it with. But yeah, like I said, I apologize. I know it can, like, it's frustrating for me when I have these shadows and I'm using them and I film with them. I create a look with them and then I go to link them later and then they're discontinued. So like that's frustrating for me because I'm like, for one, I like the shadow, so it's annoying because, you know, if I run out of it, then it's like I can't get it again. And I have to go with another option, which I don't want to do, but so yeah, so I apologize if any of the shadows that I use in today's video or future videos are discontinued. So then the next color that I'm going to go in with is also from MakeupGeek, and it is in the shade Cupcake. So it is this one right here. And I can't tell if it's focused or not. There, I think it might be focused, but it's that one right there. And it's a really pretty like mauvey, pinky type of shade. And just taking the same exact brush, which is just like a fluffy brush, I am going to put that right on top of Peach Smoothie. So going all the way from outer corner to inner corner of the eye. And I hope this color isn't discontinued because I really like this shade because it's a really pretty color for, I feel like, spring, because it's kind of like that mauve-y shade, but it has like a little bit of pink in it. So it's really pretty. And I love like pinker tones for spring, obviously. Like that's just like a springy color. So, I mean, I feel like a lot of people are going to like those types of shades, but it's a really pretty color and you can create like a lot of pretty, I feel like springy looks with it. And then I'm just kind of working at building up the color so I get it to the intensity that I want. So then once I have Cupcake on the eyes, the next color that I'm going to go in with is again from MakeupGeek, and this is in the shade Vintage. So it is this one right here. So it is a really pretty like cool tone, like purpley color. So taking more of a precise blending brush, I'm going to dip that into that color, and I'm going to be placing this on the outer portion of the eyelid and then up into that outer portion of the crease. But I am like more so like patting the color onto the lid, and then once I want to blend it up into the crease, then I will like go in a little bit more of like those windshield wiper motions. But for the most part, I am patting just so I can get that color on, and then when I want to blend, I'll blend it out with those little windshield wiper motions. And like I said, I'm just keeping that on the outer half of the eye here and the outer half of that crease. And then since I am building up that color kind of slowly, I'll go in between each layer that I put down, and I'll take my fluffy brush and I will blend those edges out, just because I want to go in with a little bit at a time because I don't want it to be too hard to blend. Okay, so then once I have that builded up to the intensity that I want it, I will next go in with my lid color, and I love this product here, and it is from CoverFX, and it is their Shimmer Veil Liquid Eyeshadow, and it is in the shade Amethyst. So it is this really pretty, like purpley color right here, and they have a few other colors as well. I think the other one that I like is called Moonstone, but I can't remember, but it's like a really pretty like bronzy color. But I love this, and it has, to me, it almost looks like it has like a little bit of like reflex in it, to where in some angle of light it looks like it has like a bluish purple, and then in other angles it's more of like just like a really pretty like amethyst colored purple. So I love these, they're really nice. If you've ever used the Stila shimmer, like the Shimmer and Glow liquid eyeshadows or the liquid glitters, these are going to be very similar to those, except for these are going to be less glittery and I would say more shimmery. So I really like them. They're really nice, and I love the Stila ones too. But with these, the way that I use them is that I will, hang on, let me scoot to my mirror a little bit closer so I can see a little better up to my eye. But I will take it and I will put it on this inner corner right here, and I won't bring it up into the crease just because I don't want it to get messy when I blend it out. So I will keep it away from the crease, because when I go to blend it, then I'll blend it up into the crease. But with this, I'll bring it in towards that shadow, like how it's in the center of the eye right here. And then that's where I'm going to stop it, because then when I blend it, I'll kind of like blend the two together, and then I'll blend it up into the crease. And with these, they are going to be wet, so you don't want to leave them sit for long periods of time, because then they're going to dry. But I'll have it like that, and then I will take my brush, wherever it's at, which is the Sigma one right here, and then I will take that and then start to kind of blend it upward into the crease, just so there isn't that line there. And then I will also blend those edges a little bit out as well. And then there's like more of like a process that I'll do to where I'll go in with like more of that mattifying shadow that I put out here in that corner, and then kind of like blend it a little bit on top of the edges of this amethyst shade, just so there isn't a harsh distinction or like a harsh line between like shimmery liquid shadow and then matte shadow. And then also with these, they layer really nice too. So you can layer the intensity as well, which is what I'm going to do. And I'm kind of like patting it on like when I layer it, and then I'll go through and then I'll blend the same exact way. Okay, so then now that I have the top lid done, I'm going to go ahead and move to my lower lash line. So I'm going to be taking my flat definer brush here, and then I'm going to be taking that vintage color that I went in with on the outer portion of the lid and then mixing it with MakeupGeek Cherry Cola, which is this shade right here. So it's kind of like a maroonish brownish color is how I can describe it. I'm probably totally off, but that's what it looks like to me. And I'm just going to take my flat definer brush and mix them and then run along my lower lash line from outer corner to inner corner. And I'm going to stop where that tear duct like begins right here. So then it'll look like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil brush, which is this guy right here. And then I'm going to dip into Cupcake, which was that like really pretty like springy color that we used up in the crease on top of Peach Smoothie. And then I'm going to take my pencil brush, like I said, and then run that along like that color underneath of our lower lash line, because that's what I'm going to use to blend out those darker colors. And then once you get it blended out, it'll look like this. So a lot better than on this side. So let's go ahead and do the other side. Now that we have our lower lash line blended out, I'm going to go ahead and highlight my brow bone and my inner corner. And I'm going to be using the same highlight that I normally use, and that is just my MAC Nylon right here. And I'm going to be taking my MAC 242 brush and then just highlighting the high point of my brow. And when I say high point of my brow, I literally mean like where this arch is right here. So I don't mean like going like all the way from like inner part of the brow to outer part of the brow, which when I first started doing makeup and learning like these different techniques, that is like what I would do. Like, and I wouldn't take like a shimmery shade like this one or like more like a frostier shade. I would take more of like a white eyeshadow, and I would highlight from kind of from the inner part of my brow to like the outer part, just because I thought that's what you're supposed to do, because highlighting your brow bone, let's highlight the entire thing, because it, you know, I didn't know. So it just looks more ideal and more like flattering, I guess, when you just put it like under this arch right here. Doing that is going to help create like a lifted type of effect to the brow. So that is why, one, that's why you highlight your brow bone, but two, that's why you specifically highlight this high point of the brow right there.
And I'll go ahead and highlight my inner corner. Now that we have the shadow done, I'll go ahead and I'll apply some eyeliner into my waterline area. Now I'm going to be taking my MAC NC15/NW20 pencil. Like I did mention that this one is discontinued, but Makeup Forever does have an option that I have been listing. So I will, you know, of course, list the Makeup Forever one instead. But this one is just like a beigey colored liner. So I'm just going to run this along my waterline just to help brighten up the eyes a little bit and add like a little bit of a pop into that waterline area versus just leaving it blank. And do you notice how when you look at like this eye compared to this eye, that this just looks like so much brighter underneath of here versus on this eye? I would always recommend like these color pencils to women at Sephora when I worked there, because it just really helps brighten up the eyes, especially when I was doing like a makeover and somebody wanted more like a natural look. I would use these during the makeover, and then, well, not this one specifically, but like a color pencil like this one, and I would use it in the waterline and show them, look, it really brightens up the eyes. And a lot of the time, most women liked it. There's a couple here and there that's like, I can do without it, but a lot of women liked it when they saw the difference that it makes with how it brightens up that waterline area. So I really recommend these types of pencils that are more of like a beigey color to brighten up that waterline versus using like a stark white. I do like white eyeliners, but they can be a little bit much sometimes. I'll even take, like, if I want it to be really bright, I'll even take like this pencil and then take a white eyeliner and just run a little bit along that liner as well, like on top of this one, like layering it. And it really helps brighten that up as well, like make it even brighter. But I really, really, really recommend these. Like I said, this is like my everyday liner. I wear it with, like, even on days where I'm like not wearing mascara, I'll sometimes put this in my waterline and it really helps brighten it up. But I wear it with, you know, makeup looks like this. I wear it with just mascara. So it really does make a big difference rather than leaving it blank. Okay, so then I'll go ahead and give my lashes a curl and apply mascara off camera. And the mascara that I'm using today, I'm using something different. Normally I use my NARS Climax mascara, but today I'm going to be using the Hourglass Caution Extreme Lash Mascara, which is this one here. And then I'll still use the same lower lash mascara just because I like it, and that is the Benefit Roller Lash. So I will be right back. Okay, so then now that I have my mascara applied, I'm going to go ahead and apply blush. So for the blush that I'm using today, I haven't used it yet on my channel, but I actually really like this blush, and it's something that's affordable. So this is going to be the Milani Cosmetics powder blush in the shade Romantic Rose. So it's super cute. It's like a little rose that's like imprinted in the blush, and it's a really pretty like dusty rose shade, and I think that'll look really flattering with this look because it's not too pink, but it's not in the purple tones to where it'll be like too purple. But I really like these blushes. They're really nice. They have a few other colors too, and I'll have to check those out sometime. But I'm just going to layer that on the apples of my cheeks. And when I do my blush, I like to bring mine back into the temple area. Like I'll get the blush, a lot of the blush off of the brush onto my cheek, and then I'll blend it backwards. And I blend it like back and up onto the temple because then that helps give more of like a lifted appearance to the face. Some people just like to keep it on the apples of the cheeks, but I personally prefer to bring it back into the temples. But isn't this like such a pretty blush color? Like they have a corally colored one too that I feel like would be really pretty for like spring and summertime when it gets warm and you have like a tan. That would look so pretty. Okay, so then now that we have our blush applied, I'm going to apply my highlighter next. And I can't really show you this one just because it is shattered. And this is my first highlighter that I have ever bought before. So it was like, I would say like 2014. And it's from MAC, and it is the, I forget, what is the name? Soft and Gentle. So this one is Soft and Gentle. And like I said, first highlighter ever bought in. I think it was my first product that I have ever bought from MAC. So it was like my first high-end product. And, you know, to be honest, it was a little bit pricey because I was like, this is my first time buying something like that. I took it with me on vacation. We went to Florida. I was in the bathroom getting around, and I dropped it on the bathroom floor, and it shattered. My heart sunk. I was like heartbroken because, you know, like that was I had just bought it like a couple weeks prior. It was my first higher end makeup product. It was expensive, and I was really disappointed, and you know, but I kept it. I just had the shattered pieces, put them in there, and then I have been using it ever since. So, you know, you gotta work with it. But it's a really pretty highlight if, you know, you want something for like an everyday highlight. Normally I use my Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop because that is my personal favorite highlighter, but this one is an also really pretty one as well. It's like a really pretty, like, and I don't even know if it's showing up on the camera very well, but it's a really pretty, like, neutral colored highlight. And it's not, you know, not too dark, not like too frosty. So I feel like even if you're a little bit more on the fair side, I feel like fair girls could wear this. I can even wear this during the summertime when I have like my self tanner on. So it's just a really pretty, like nice neutral highlight. And it's a nice like everyday highlight as well because it's not anything that's going to be like super blinding, like you can see it from space type of highlight, which I feel like that's, you know, fine and dandy, like if you're into that, or, you know, for like a special event for like prom, that's super fun. But for an everyday highlight, I don't personally like, you know, highlight that's like that. That's why I like the Champagne Pop so much and like the Becca highlights because they're good highlights, like that obviously like show up and like give you like a nice like intense highlight, but it's not going to be something that's like super intense. Like if you ever have used like the Artist Couture highlights, those ones are super, super intense. Now I have a couple of those, and at Sephora, like when girls would come in and get their makeup done for like prom or homecoming, I would put a little bit of that on the high points of their cheekbones, like on top of like another highlight, and that would look so, so pretty. But those are super, super intense for an everyday. But if you like that type of highlight for like an everyday highlight, I would check those out because, woo, those are something. I saw this thing one time that's all like, leave nose highlight, like the tip of the nose highlight, like leave that trend behind in 2018. I'm like, excuse you. I love it. I think it's cute. Okay, so then now that we have our face done and our highlight done, I am going to just run my Benefit Give Me Brow tinted brow gel through my brow hairs real quick just to give them a little bit of dimension and add a little bit more warmth to them. And I'm specifically using the shade 3.5. I believe that's like a warm auburn shade if I'm not mistaken, which my hair's not red anymore, but this color actually still works. So I'm just going to lightly run that through. And then I'm going to take my spoolie from my brow definer and then kind of blend that out a little bit. And then I'm going to take my clear brow gel from Anastasia Beverly Hills and run that through my brows just to ensure that they stay in place all day and do not move. So, I mean, technically you could just use like the tinted brow gel and that would set them, but I like to go in with this one as well just because I have it, so I'm gonna use it. Okay, and then now, last but not least, I'm going to apply my lips, and I'm going to be applying my personal favorite lip gloss. It is almost empty. I'm basically like scraping the inside of the packaging just to get enough out of it so I can use it. I really should buy another one, but this is the Marc Jacobs lip gloss in the shade Skin Deep. So it is this right here. As you can see, it's running empty. I really need to get another one, but like I said, this one is my favorite, my personal favorite gloss. It's not super nude, but it's not anything like bronzy, so I can wear it like during the summertime. I can wear it when I'm fair during the wintertime. I really love it. It's almost like a taupey nude is how I would describe it, but it goes with a lot of different looks. I would wear it, I can wear it with like this look that I'm doing now. I can do it when I only have like foundation and mascara on and, you know, nothing really like on my eyes. So it goes with a lot of different looks. I love this lip gloss. Plus, I love his lip glosses in general. They're very high pigment and they're very high shine. So if you like a lip gloss like that, these are amazing lip glosses. My personal favorite line of lip glosses. Isn't this just the prettiest shade of gloss? It is so pretty. I love it. Like when I was working at Sephora, I would have so many people ask me, what color of lips are you wearing? And then I would like take them and I'd be like, it's this lip gloss right here. It's Skin Deep by Marc Jacobs. It's like my personal favorite. It's so good. You need to get it. And people love this. So definitely get that gloss. You will be getting compliments and people asking you all the time, what do you have on your lips? It's so pretty. So next I'm going to go ahead and set my face, and I'm going to be using my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea setting spray. So I'm going to give a quick couple spritzes to the face. So yeah, that is it for this makeup tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. I really love this makeup look. I think it's super pretty. I feel like the eyes are super fun. I really love this Cover FX liquid shimmer veil eyeshadow. I love the color Amethyst. It's so pretty on the eyes. I feel like this would complement a bunch of different eye colors, especially if you have like brown eyes or hazel. The color purple really complements more hazel brown colored eyes, so this would look super pretty. And it's something that I feel like is really appropriate for wintertime too, because it's like those purple tones and it's more like cool tones, so it's not anything too bright and it's not anything too warm, so it'll really still give you that pop of color, but still be appropriate for like the winter season if you like to follow those types of trends. I mean, necessarily you don't have to follow any type of trend during the summer, winter, whatever, just do whatever you want. So make sure to check out down below. I will have everything listed, including other options. If there's anything that has been discontinued, I will make sure to do my best to try to find options for like eyeshadows or anything like that that has been discontinued. And like I said, I apologize for that. I just have these shadows, so I'm just going to use them. But yeah, I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.